For those who don't know, they recently made Jade Spirit an elemental card, so it just makes a lot of sense to mix the Jade and Elemental archetypes now. Of course, it really makes sense in Shaman. That was kind of already a thing without this even being an Elemental. But now it kind of makes sense in Rogue, too. The Jade Spirit being an Elemental is particularly relevant, because Elementals never really had a good turn 4 into Servant of Kalimos, and now Jade Spirit is just a really natural fit for that. As far as the specifics of the deck go, I think it's pretty straightforward when you decide you want to play Jades and Elementals in Rogue. I couldn't resist putting N'Zoth in the deck. Not sure if that's correct or not, but damn, N'Zoth is fun. And then because of N'Zoth, I'm also playing Mistress of Mixtures. This card might actually just be good enough in this deck even without N'Zoth, because you want to heal and stuff. But yeah, pretty straightforward. Maybe one thing that looks a little bit odd is that I'm not playing Igneous Elemental. It's a Death Rattle, it's an Elemental, but Igneous Elemental just kinda sucks, I think. Doesn't have many stats the turn you play it, the 1/2s don't do all that much. So that's probably really the only card that's too much of a question. Kinda wanted to play Shadow Step, but there's just not really room in the deck for a Shadow Step. Anyway, deck's pretty straightforward.
Valera versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
Watch your back.
Well, Mistress is a good one-drop. Hopefully she can beat up a Murloc or something.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Wow. He actually played that into my Mistress without a coin another Murloc.
This might sting.
That's really surprising to me. Well, I'll just go ahead and get the weapon up. I don't think I want to play out Thalnos here. Although playing Thalnos here would have given me a 3 damage Eviscerate next turn, maybe? Let's just Mimic Pod here. Mistress is not exciting. Maybe even like the worst card to duplicate in this matchup.
Blood and plunder.
Alright, it's this deck.
Blood and plunder.
Yikes. I can clear if I want to go for Thalnos Backstab Eviscerate. Can also just play Jade Spirit here. It curves into Servant of Kalimos. I guess I could even Backstab Dagger one of those guys this turn. I think that's probably a little bit better.
Here we go.
That's a big dude. And he True Silvered my Jade Golem. Or my Jade Spirit. I can clear it with Thalnos Eviscerate. I guess I pretty much have to. I can't eat too much damage from this guy.
Here we go. I can't do
I take 7, but I do get to develop a Mistress here. If I had just played Servant of Kalimos, it was too big for his True Silver. It probably could have gotten 4 damage on that guy. I would have taken this 7, but then I would have eviscerated it anyway. So I'd be in a pretty similar spot, I think, actually. Maybe there was a better way to play that. But holy shit, that's a good draw. I think I want this health. I mean, he can't kill me from 9, right? Let's just make sure we get the health. I think it was probably pretty safe to trade off the Thalnos instead of the Mistress. But there is some world where he just like tries to weapon me and he either plays no minions or only plays minions that are too small for the Mistress to suicide on. It's hard to imagine that he could deal 9 damage doing that, but I don't think it's going to end up mattering too much. I think I'd rather save the Blaze Caller for something more significant than this. See what we can get with the Servant here. Probably just want a Jade Spirit, right? I think I'm feeling safe enough to not play the Mistress here and take the 1 damage from this guy. This does leave me a little bit open to a Consecration play, but if he really wants to clear, he's going to have to use his weapon on my Servant of Kalimos. I don't really mind him using his weapon like that. Hard to imagine that he could consecrate and set up a board state that really threatens my health total immediately next turn. That's a good card. But that's the reason we saved the Blaze Caller. Yeah, we'll just trade off the 2/2. I was thinking, maybe I should think a little bit more about this turn. Maybe I want to use like Weapon and Thalnos, in which case you want to trade in the Thalnos first to get the card draw. But I don't think trading off Thalnos was good there.
Put your faith in the light.
Tyrion. I do deal with Tyrion fairly well here. I want to use this guy to pop the bubble, so let's go ahead and see what we draw. Backstab does mean I don't have to trade off the Mistress, but I think I want to trade off the Mistress, right? So we'll just do this. And I guess we'll hit him with the dagger. He's getting pretty weak. It's actually kind of hard to imagine a world where this dagger hit really matters, but it could. Next turn we have N'Zoth. What have I lost? A Thalnos. I've lost 3 Mistress of Mixtures. No Swarmers, no Aya, so I think just those 3 Mistress and the Thalnos. Okay, Sunkeeper is actually pretty strong here. Well, we probably just play N'Zoth here, right? I guess I'll trade this off first, just in case I miscounted the amount of death rattles I have dead. I actually forgot that I was going to be able to do this. The Thalnos makes the backstab deal enough damage that I can clear there. I might actually be in a position where I could lose the value game if he has a consecration here. This N'Zoth didn't really get me that much. He can pop into N'Zoth with his weapon. He goes down to 1, but then he's going to heal up 12 off these Mistresses. No consecration though. I'm not sure if that list even plays consecration. He's playing the Dread Corsair version. Damn, another Sunkeeper. That's lethal. Alright, cool.
Well played.
Is this the same priest?
The light shall
It is not.
Watch your
Well, either way, let's hope I can not miss lethal this game. I think Jade Shuriken is worth holding on to with the coin.
Is someone injured?
I think we're just gonna pass here. Both of the coin 2-drop plays seem kind of bad into Cleric. Play out the Jade Swarmer here. His Cleric can't really interact with it. Next turn can either just be Tar Creeper or maybe like Firefly Jade Shuriken to kill off the Cleric. I think we'll just play the Tar Creeper though. It stops the 1 damage from getting through, which probably isn't too relevant. But it's just a clean 3-drop on 3. Bad against that turtle though, I guess. Well, Backstab Eviscerate Shuriken does let me clear. And it gets 2 Jade Golems on the board going into my coin Aya turn. I think that just seems really clean. I guess this does buff the Cleric, so I have to trade in my Tar Creeper, but that's probably fine. This is fine. Clear 2 of his dudes, shut down his draw engine, get 2 Jade Golems rolling, and the Tar Creeper is still pretty big. I am kind of burning through resources, but that's why we play Aya Blackpaw. And the Mimic Pot in my hand is also helpful. Oh, he's a Kazakus list. That's a little interesting. Well, I think we definitely just play Aya here. She's like pretty OP and shit. And we'll trade into Kazakus, I suppose. It doesn't really matter against like Dragonfire Potion because he just blows up the Kazakus anyway. But maybe the Kazakus list plays Holy Nova or something. Maybe this is worse if he tried to take like the Polymorph Potion, because I think the 5-mana one just randomly transforms an enemy minion. Could have protected my Aya leaving those things up. The Tar Creeper did pretty well against Kazakus. I think this line of play was fine though. Do I want to Vile Spine that? It's probably about as big as his guys get. Let's just blast it and go face. This board is a little weak to AoE, but Aya drops a 4/4. We've got Mimic Pod for refuel. It's kind of an awkward turn for his Dragonfire Potion. And as a Kazakus list, he is only playing one Dragonfire Potion, so sometimes he just doesn't have it. Turns out this turn he did have it though. Let's just push some damage here, develop as many stats as we can. Mimic Pod can always be played on the following turn. And we played the Jade Spirit, so Servant of Kalimos and Blazecaller are active top decks. We can even Mimic Pod into the Servant. Plus we're just threatening a lot of damage here, and it's hard for him to deal with the Mistress.
Let me change your mind.
Wow. Cabal Shadow Priest. What's more likely to give me a play, Mimic Pod or Servant of Kalimos? If I Mimic Pod into Eviscerate, he dies. Mimic Pod into Jade Shuriken, he's not quite dead. Probably wouldn't play Tar Creeper. I think Servant of Kalimos first makes a lot of sense. These all kinda suck. Maybe we just take a fat Stormwatcher against Priest. Where are your shadow words now? Let's take Stormwatcher. Seems like fun. Mistress is not really the hit here. And I guess... I'm not really sure if I'm winning the value game right now is the problem. I'm gonna not respect Holy Nova here. Trade the 4/4 into the 2/3. I think Holy Nova is the only board clear that this matters against. Shadow Visions into Holy Nova could be a bummer here. But then we just slam the Stormwatcher, and like, how does he deal with a 4/8? We just beat him to death with Stormwatcher. Raza. We have 8, 10, 15, 16. So let's get lethal with Swashbuckler here. Oh, it even pulls patches actually, so that is just lethal. 5, 10, 15, 17. Sick. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to play this Stormwatcher or even this Lyra, but a win's a win.
Valera versus Valera.
Watch your back.
I think there's actually a reasonable chance this guy's playing a similar deck to me. Is Backstab even worth keeping against Rogue? I don't really care to use it on Swashbuckler or Patches. Good against Razor Petal Lasher, I guess. Let's toss the Tar Creeper. I guess I'll keep the Backstab just because it's a great early game card. And I'll keep the Shuriken just because I have Coin and Backstab, so it should be pretty easy to combo this. Alright, that's actually a Backstab target. Do I want to use it though? I can just play the Jade Swarmer here and chill. And then next turn can be maybe Mistress plus Jade Shuriken. I don't really have a play for next turn anyway, so setting up for a nice Jade Shuriken could be a thing. And the worst thing that could really happen is I just Backstab it next turn, I took 2 extra damage. Actually, this is kind of bad. Let's just dagger this thing. Seems like I don't have a play set up for next turn, since I don't really want to coin out the Servant of Kalimos since it won't be active. So we'll just assume that we can Jade Shuriken something next turn. Okay. I could coin out Shadowcaster here, but that just doesn't really seem that good. Probably looking to coin Aya next turn. If she lives, then I can Shadowcaster Aya the following turn, which is pretty gross. Question is, what do I do to deal with this? I can just backstab dagger it. I can backstab Jade Shuriken it. Seems like a bit of a waste, but I do have 2 turns. My following 2 turns kind of occupied. So getting out this Jade Golem might be pretty nice. I kind of want to use the dagger and redagger anyway this turn, though. This is actually pretty awkward. Let's try tempoing out this Jade Golem, I guess. Only because I'm hoping to play Aya into Aya. I definitely can see how this play might be incorrect. Alright, he still needs 2 more cards to revive Sherazin, so he's gonna need a coin or a prep. Or a backstab. Alright. Kinda seems like Aya's probably not gonna survive the turn. It's a bit of a bummer. I think she still is the play, though. If he takes this trade, then I'm just gonna have a 3-3 and a 4-4, which is pretty nice. Wow, he didn't kill Aya. Oh, he's gonna feel bad about not killing Aya there. That was such a good Shadowcaster. And now in my hand I've got a Vile Spine Slayer that's pretty easy to activate. When this Aya dies, she drops a 6/6. I think I'm in a pretty good spot here. Did this guy rage quit because of the Aya value? I can only imagine that's what happened.